Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. These are general messages for the collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter placements. Let's get into it. So the first card you have, Cancerians, is Happy Hedgehog, and it further says curiosity, energy, productivity. Further on it says, sprightly critter of the forest, help me discover new opportunities. So Cancerians, I feel that this energy of the hedgehog is more about staying curious. Now, fourth house energy is the Cancerian energy, which is, it's the house of nurturing and home, focus on the home and things like that. But I feel that you are invited to be more curious, to explore new things, new paths, new avenues, which will help you create more security and comfort in your life. And while Cancerians are very protective in their ways of their family, of the near and dear ones, those instincts, Cancerian, you can actually channel into areas where you can be very productive. So this energy of hedgehog is actually asking you to grow, to expand things that you care about, right? Or whether it's people, whether it's your projects, your home, your family, whatever that you care about, expand those areas. See how you can expand, see how you can build more, how you can provide more. Like, for example, I would say, I've recently been very impressed with the farmers markets. If you know, they are small scale producers. Those producers, if you read about the people that participate in the farmers market, they actually use a lot of the sustainable methods. They are driven because they want to provide fresh and local produce actually to the people that come and shop over there. That's the energy of this hedgehog. So they're very nurturing, but they put their energy of nurturing and care into growing these vegetables and bringing it to the people and their community. I'm actually also feeling, the image that comes to mind is, I'm sure you have heard of tiny homes. There is a new movement which is going around globally where young individuals, or even, it doesn't have to be young, it could be of any age, they are getting very creative in how they are designing those small living spaces. But those living spaces are actually very self-sufficient. So that's the kind of curiosity you have been, this energy is asking you to bring into your life, to see how you're nurturing nature and curiosity. You can actually apply it practically to create these kind of nurturing environments. Because the planets right now are actually focused, helping you focus on that, because Sun and Venus is in Leo for you guys. So you can actually tap into that energy of being creative. You is a very creative sign, and so is Sun. And both being in Leo, there is like a high focus on staying creative, productive, and also to speak your truth, to tell everybody what you're thinking. Maybe you have some creative ideas. And even with Mercury now, it's going direct. It's also in Leo. So there you can, say things clearly, express what you want, express your new ideals, especially when it comes to nurturing community, building things that will nurture the community or homes or people. For some of you, this could also be about, creating services that actually help with people in their homes. Like, vacuum cleaner, somebody invented that. That's an example of the energy which is present right now for you, Cancerians. It helps the people, it helps clean homes faster. So it adds to the well-being and of the people. It also gives them a lot of comfort because they don't have to band and clean and things like that. So that's one aspect of this energy. There's also a lot of community centers. If you know, like, there's groups yoga, and it doesn't have to be like a brick and mortar center. It could also be even online, a digital platform that you could be creating there. People can connect with each other, share their experiences, share their life, and sorry about the noise. Where you can create those apps so that people can, share what they're feeling, what they're going through. And that really helps, whether people are going through different health issues or just societal issues. They can come together, they can pour their hearts out and get some ideas and feedback from people who are in the same boat. You could also be, I feel this is also a good time for you to not only like it's about parenting as well. I'm getting like new ways of parenting. You could also be thinking about daycares or how to parent children in newer ways. Maybe promote more of outdoor activity or create an activity which promotes well-being of children. This could also be, working together as a family and creating something. Maybe you're handcrafting something. Maybe you're creating baskets, if that's what your family did in the past, your grandparents or your ancestors, if that's something that resonates with your family. That not only passes that family tradition to the next generation, but it also, keeps you connected with history and culture of your own family and community and things like that. So it's a very positive energy out here, Hedgehog. If you've seen Over the Hedge, that movie, this is that energy of the happy hedgehog, right? Where all of those animal characters, if you haven't seen that movie, go see it. It's really cute. They are so curious and they're always, they're so invested in finding food and shelter and things like that. So see that movie. It's really inspiring. And I'm also getting, because I love history, and I'm sure the history lovers will associate with this, even though it's like a weirdly quirky, thing to talk about with this energy, but it just comes to mind. Have you heard of the pig war? For those of you, there was a war between, some Canadian or some Washington state, the border that they share, over a pig. How one family was productive over their potatoes in their backyard, and then a pig came and ate it, and then there was a war over it, and then because somebody was productive of the boundaries of the house of their potatoes, and then a pig war came into being. So if you haven't heard about it, check that event out, but that strongly relates with this energy. Next, Cancerians, you have the Taking Shelter card, and it says the answers are within. Now, if you see over here, the person in the picture holds a lantern. They're trying to find a space where they can just be comfortable on their own, away from the noise and the daily routines. And this person has spotted this house over here, this house, which, there is a lot of snow out here, but it's, in a very nice, secluded area where this person can go, feel safe, all by themselves, or maybe all by themselves, and just calm themselves down, like have some coffee or hot chocolate by the fireplace because it's snowy outside, and that's the kind of cozy vibe that I'm getting. But while doing all of that, just being by yourself, you have a time to focus on your own self, to reflect. See what your heart is telling you. Because for Cancerians, feeling secure emotionally, grounded emotions is really important, because you guys are driven by the moon, and moon cycles constantly stirs up your emotions. So it's very important to find this sacred sanctuary where you can just retreat back and spend some time with yourself. And I feel this is what this energy is asking you to do. Also, considering you're a water sign. Cardinal water signs are the starters, the beginners. I feel that you also have a very strong intuition. You can sense things. You can read the room. You can sense what's going on. And I feel that with this time that you spend with yourself, you get a lot of clarity in your answers, in your current situations. You'll also be able to tap into your experiences of the past and what you have taken away from those experiences so that you can apply it to your current situations as well. Also, yeah, introspection is a good idea at all times. I would encourage you doing it every single day, spending a few minutes of the day towards the end to see how the day went and how things went for you. And if there's something that you would like to change or that you would like to do differently, you know? So it's very important to nurture our internal heart space. And because that's where the answers mostly will come from. And then I feel that if you're looking for answers, the universe is directing directing you to yourself. So take a moment, journal things down as your thoughts keep pouring in. And if you wish, you can also, sit with your group of friends or people, and you can even brainstorm together. You can reflect. It's always good to get some opinions and feedback from other people as well. If it's a complex situation that needs a solution, especially if other people are involved, it's always good to have some guidance of different age groups and different experiences come together, find solutions to problems, especially if it's related to your family or your friends even. And you might have known about some vision quests. These are spiritual practices that shamans follow, where they can, go to that secret space, whether it's in nature or whatever, to get that, to connect with themselves and have a moment to draw on their inner guidance. And sometimes we underestimate, the power of sitting by ourselves and just quieting the noise outside. But it really works wonders. I have tried that too. For some of you, this could just be, taking a step back, taking a moment off from your busy schedules. I remember when we went to college, there were students who had taken a sabbatical. I don't know if you know that term, but it's like taking a break from academics and trying to see which field you want to go, which domain interests you, or going to some community college and trying to understand what profession you want to choose for yourself. So instead of wasting your time on a profession or a subject that will not interest you later on or that will not drive you, it's always better to take some time off or go to a community college and do some online courses so that you actually understand which direction you want to pick for yourself. So that could be this energy playing out for some of you as well. Now, taking shelter ounces of it then also comes, especially when we take a moment to go to meditation retreats. You might have heard of silent meditation centers or mindfulness centers where groups and thousands of people come where they want to just disconnect from internet. They want to disconnect from their phones, and then they just want to spend some time with nature and themselves and just, be at calm and peace. And that really works wonder in rejuvenating our internal system. For external system, you go massages, you go spas and feel better. But on the internal side, taking this break into a sacred space, a retreat will actually help you feel good within. Also, these centers, they allow people to just share their journeys and get some feedback and, know that they're not alone and everybody around them is going through something or the other. So they can learn and improve from people that are around. It helps to get a lot of clarity and helps to understand what's going on in the society in everybody's homes and hearts. So it's a good way to connect with people that way, have natural retreats, or, there's a lot of listening sessions as well. There's a lot of counselors that hold these empathic listening sessions where people, are able to pour their heart out that they find that inner peace. So these are also, and this energy also plays out in the professional world, in the counselor, especially if you're in those kind of professions where you can have these listening sessions and help feel better and, comforted. Now, taking shelter could also be not only just at home or finding a sanctuary, but it's also expressing yourself, like I said, sun and you, sun and for you, Cancerian, sun and Venus is in you at this point in time. So creating these kind of spaces can also really help create a sense of community and peace amongst the people out there. This could also be in virtual communities. There's a lot of digital platforms these days where you can share your thoughts. People create these unique account names so that they're not visible with their real name. They create these handles. And then they just chat with other people. So it kind of connects with people worldwide that are sharing the same experience. And then they feel better about themselves, knowing that someone somewhere is also has gone through this and has some insights to give about that. So, emotional detox periodically is very, very important. And at the same time, setting boundaries so that people don't invade into your personal space is also very important. Energy cleansing, your aura cleansing is also very important. So, I don't know if you've heard of the movie Eat, Pray, Love. Julia Roberts, she's the one who travels to different cultures, experiences different cultures, but eventually at the end, if you see, she finds her answers just by internally reflecting and, discovering herself in each new environment. It's a perfect example of this energy of taking shelter, especially, if you've seen movies that people are digging tunnels to escape and, that's the taking shelter under the ground. And then they create these tunnels and they're very secretive in their whole escape. But it's just that when you focus and you get answers from within on how to find, how to take shelter and how to find your way out, you'll come up with very genius ways of doing that. So that's what this energy reflects to me. Next card, considering you have the number 9. So number 9 is coming to prominent with this card. You have the clear and activate, create sacred space. So your energy is all about creating sacred space, finding, shelter, taking shelter, connecting with yourself, expanding in that ways of how you can take care of yourself and other people. Now you look at the picture, there is a glowing aura around this person, right? There is also a smoke. So this person's cleansing their aura, the energies that they have accumulated over the day. And it's very necessary for our own emotional well-being. It's very important for each of us to not only have those environments where we can both physically and energetically feel comforted, nurtured, but at the same time, we need to also raise the vibrations of the space that we belong to, whether in our office space, in our business space, or in our homes. So caring, I feel that caring your energetic space, emotional space, even your physical space, if there's any clarity, declutter it. There are things that are not really required or don't need if you have excess of anything. It's very important so that the energy comes in, the fresh vibes, so that there is peace and there is protection from the universe, So consciously creating those kind of sanctuaries where you can feel deeply connected, not only to your home when you come back from a hectic day at work. You want to feel relaxed. You want to feel deeply connected with the space where you sit, where you sleep. I was seeing a video about these interior decorations where a person mentioned that, in their office space, they like a lot of plants because they bring nature inside their office. Some people want windows where a lot of natural light comes in, and that kind of rejuvenates them, or having a setup where they can just watch outside nature if you're in that setup, or have a home which is in nature. You can set up an office space. You can look at the bright, beautiful flowers and the greenery outside, because that actually increases your productivity over a period of time once you detox by looking at things that actually work for you. Another way is to use, Palo Santo and sage smudging sticks, where that really helps to clear stagnant energy, and it, brings in positive vibrations into your space. So that way you're actually spiritually activating, quote unquote, activating space spiritually and physically. Physically, you can do it, I'm sure most of you have heard of the practice of feng shui. That's like you arrange your environment and things inside your house because they harmonize with the energy flows, right? So that's very important because those are spaces that are activated consciously to promote prosperity and well-being inside of your house and your body. And there's also a movement, I don't know if you have heard of that, there's wellness homes movement which is going on in some parts of the world which have those biophilic designs, where interiors and architectures are intentionally created in a way that actually promotes good health, it reduces the stress and helps the people connect more with nature. So that's consciously creating a sacred living space that's activated through these feng shuis and architecture, because you might have seen some homes, they have the more of glass, or they have big mirrors inside, or foyer area is having like a Buddha statue or a lot of plants. They have like those wind chimes that have a specific particular sound that actually activates and cleanses the aura and things like that, that help you feel rooted and connected a lot with nature. So again, I feel like, having strong boundaries and emotional detoxes periodically is very important. And also going out there to meet with people in serene spaces also helps you builds that community and brings in that lot of inner peace. I'm also reminded of, I don't know if you've seen a show on Netflix. It's called Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. So see that movie, it's featuring Marie Kondo in that. And she actually, her method over there in that movie, and I love, love, love that series, in that series, not the movie, sorry. It's all about decluttering, which creates this harmonious environment where you feel at ease, you feel pleasure, you feel, whether it's coloring the walls with a certain shade or having certain furniture, certain type of plants and sheets and flooring. It's different for each of you, but intentional putting those things that connect you with nature and something that resonates with you, with your heart space, is very, very important. So those are ways in which we can promote well-being consciously. And the last card for today, Cancerians, you have is the Nine of Secret Circles. This is Nine of Pentacles. So this is self-sufficiency. This is happiness, abundance, feeling secure because you've been working hard to create that secure space, that home, that business, that job, right? That you've taken care of yourself and everything that your heart led you to create. You've nurtured, you've put in the work, and now you've built something, or you will be building something which will make you feel self-sufficient, independent, very comfortable in the end, and also very happy in the environment that you create for yourself. I'm getting a strong eco vibes over here, Cancerians. Maybe you're into building eco homes or agriculture or food or plants, or maybe some small things. Sometimes people just grow small chilies and cilantro in their homes, something like that, which makes you feel self-sufficient. Maybe you've started a business for yourself, or maybe you're into some eco-friendly stuff, maybe alternate to plastics or alternate to let's see, all the chemicals that have been existing. Maybe you're putting some alter to it, maybe some face mask that is created from mud or things like that, mud baths, or creating something for the community, a peaceful community where people can come together or even participate in some kind of a business and then feel secure and independent in their own ways. In the past, I don't know how many of you have known about the agriculture, the societies. There was a harvest festival. Even today, some of the communities will have the harvest festival, and that they used to do that because of that symbolized the number 9 energy, right? Number 9 is like end of cycle. So thanking the earth for every bounty, everything that the earth has given to us, with that gratitude, attitude of gratitude. So number 9 is like, a symbolic of the abundance that we create or co-create with nature, nature's cycles, the earth, by putting in the effort, the right kind of effort, and the right kind of care and nurture, so that we get a good harvest. I'm sure you've heard of those off-grid movements that are going on worldwide, where people, communities, they're coming together. They develop these self-sufficient homes, like I already mentioned. Some people will take old buses, they will take old vans and create homes inside of that. And then outside they grow food. So they don't have to depend on anybody, or they don't have to go to stores. They live independently and they live, in nature and things like that. So that's the kind of energy vibe that comes with this 9 of Pentacles. Actually, your entire reading is all about being self-sufficient, nurturing, caring, especially if you see there are a lot of states or a lot of families that actually have their own vineyards, and they've cultivated it for generations, and now they have this beautiful harvest and things that are going on for themselves. So produce high quality wines. That's the abundance they brought in, when they co-created with nature. So that's this kind of an energy of the 9 of Secret Circles, right? Where sustainable living and eventually it leads to a lot of security, independence, and comfort. And it's also so pleasing to the senses because you're living in a serene environment, or you're participating in interiors or building homes or long-term care facilities, which are so beautifully designed that it actually alleviates the mood and the well-being of people that are living in it or that are going to live not together. Because it's very important for us to feel at peace at all the times and contented with the life that we have created for ourselves. Sometimes your external pressures, that goes off kilter, and we need to go back to these centers in order to achieve that sense of peace and contentment, so that we can put our energy forward towards creating the stability that we want. Now, if I'm also reminded of the movie Captain Fantastic. If those of you have seen, I love that movie, where family that is in it, they go off the grid. They cultivate their own resources, and that's what gives them that, sense of self-sufficiency. So those are the kind of energies of being self-sufficient. Now, I'll give you another example in the technical world where, there's a lot of air taxis that are getting prototyped and created nowadays. And especially one of those is from Boeing. But, Boeing is one that's actually creating an autonomous air taxi. They have a project called that's VISCO, and it's a self-flying electrical aircraft. It's great. It's Generation 6 aircraft, and it will operate without any actually pilot in the aircraft itself. I mean, even though it's going to be monitored live by the control towers, and there are supervisors that will be there in the control tower and in the offices that will be controlling this, but it's going to be self-sufficient flying aircraft. There are other companies which are developing it. I don't know if you heard of you heard of Archer Aviation and other companies like that. They're also developing air taxis, but I'm not sure that they're autonomous. They will have a pilot in it. So that's an example of how even the aircraft is becoming autonomous or self-sufficient. So something that, it deeply touches me in regards to this energy of self-sufficiency. So it's a 9 of Pentacles moment for the aircraft itself, the Boeing aircraft, right? Which is VISCO. Check that out if you haven't already. So these were general messages, Cancerians. Let me know in the comments how these energies are playing out in your lives. It helps me connect better to the tribe here at Amaranth, and hope you enjoyed your messages. So thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.